Hello, my name's RetroJules, and welcome to World of Tanks on Xbox One, and welcome to my garage. This is just a video to help anybody who's new to the game or doesn't really know how gameplay works, and hopefully I can teach you a few aspects of the game that may help you progress and further enjoy the game. You do get gameplay tutorials as part of the game, and there are help buttons that you can press on the way as you're exploring the different screens. I do suggest you do that to give you an idea of what does what, and they are very helpful. What I've done in this video for you is I'm going to have two maps that I play, and I'm going to talk you through them and how things work. And what I'm also going to do next actually is, it's very difficult to know what tanks to play, what tanks do what, and where you may want to head with this game. So I am going to suggest my three favourite tier 1 tanks that I played that have got me right up to tier 10, and the difference between them to give you an idea or just help you choose the tanks that you might want to start out on. So without further ado, here's my favourite three tanks. The American T1 Cunningham, one of the fastest tanks, the lightest armour, but a really silly, ridiculous machine gun. Or you can use its autoloader. Just be aware that this is not accurate over distance, it's better for close combat, and it has a fairly longish reload in between each clip. But this tank is a lot of fun, and you will enjoy playing it. The German Leichtraktor, a little bit slower than the Cunningham. Its engine's at the front, but its gun is far more accurate and better over distance, and this tank's view range is also one of the furthest, so you will see your enemies before they see you. This is one of the tanks that will teach you how to play a tank as a tank and not necessarily race around being stupid. Still a very effective machine, and you'll learn a lot of skills in this tank. And my favourite, the American T-22 prototype. This isn't a light tank, this is a medium tank. So the difference between this and the previous two is it's slower, heavier, it's got more armour, it's got a more accurate gun, but it can't see as far. So this tank can be a little bit more forgiving to play because you'll get a lot of shots bouncing and deflecting, and you may last longer in the battlefield, but it's not as quick, it's not as agile. But it's my favourite, and again, like the Leichtraktor, this tank will teach you how to play a tank as a tank and not as a race car on the battlefield. This is my personal favourite. So here we are on Malinovka, one of my favourite maps, and a really good map for whatever tank you're in. Don't advise you go to the left of this map, it's very flat and open. A good spotting place is at E7, and I always head for the cliff to the right. It's a tier 2 game, and we're the only tier 1 tank on our team. So straight away the odds are against us. Tanks that are higher tiered are generally better armoured, have better cannons, but that doesn't mean they're better players. On the bottom right of the map we've got our mini-map, on the bottom left we've got our tank, health meter, status of our components and our crew, and on the top line are the tanks on our team and the enemy. The squares are artillery, the triangles are tank destroyers, the diamonds are light tanks, the diamonds with a line through are medium tanks, and later on in the game you'll get diamonds with 2 lines through, and they're the heavies. So you can see in the mini-map to our right, you can see all our team on the map. So we're all in radio range of each other, we're all communicating to each other. And there's the first enemy. We can see him on the mini-map, but we won't see him in the game. And that's because our team are communicating via radio his position, but the view range on our tank isn't enough to see him. and you'll see that you can't see all the members of our team now because they've gone out of radio range.
Ready to fire on target.
So here's our first target. Wait till your reticle goes down to its smallest size, because that will be your most accurate shot. If you shoot before that reticle, the circle goes right down to the small size, you will miss. If the reticle is white, you're not on the target. If it's yellow, hardly a chance of that shot penetrating. If it's orange, there's a 50-50 chance of it penetrating, so probably worth taking the shot. And if it's red, very, very high chance of that shot penetrating. However, if the tanks are angled, those shots can still bounce. So that beep means we've been spotted, so we need to be very wary, and I've backed up. It is very important that if you get spotted, you move out the way. Don't sit there and take your shot. It's far more important at this stage of the game to keep your health rather than sit there taking the tanks out and losing your health. So that big explosion around us was artillery. So artillery are onto us, so we are going to move and get out the way. So we're not doing great at the moment. Our team is diminishing, and that's because most of our team went to the left where the map is more open. See, I took that shot before the reticle was down at its smallest size and I missed. Wait for it to go around to its small size and I hit. So we're just taking shots on this T2.
That one did some damage. We pierced their armor. We got him.
You will sometimes find that you've got a tank that will fire quicker than it can aim. So if you just hang on to the trigger button, you will do a lot of inaccurate shots because the shots will fire before you're fully aimed. So there's an AT tank destroyer at the back there. See, shouldn't have taken that shot. Take a blind shot because we had a pretty good idea of where he was. When a tank's moving like this, you want to aim in front of it. Your reticle will be white, but you're hoping by the time your shell reaches that position, the enemy tank will be there too, to get a big surprise. So we're down by 2 tanks in this game. 3 tanks, sorry. So you might think the odds are against us, but I've got full health, I've got a well-armoured tank, and we've got 2 artillery. So actually we're still quite strong. So don't give up, don't go and hide on the map. This is the advantage to keeping the health on your tank at this stage of the game, because if we need to, we can be a little reckless because we've got full health, so we're good for a few hits. If we'd taken hits at the beginning of the game, trying to take tanks out, we wouldn't be in a strong position now. So all we can see is 1 artillery on our mini-map, because that's the only tank that I'm in radio range with. So we're coming down towards the enemy base to see what we can find.
They destroyed one of our tanks.
So we've taken out one of their artillery. We didn't see it happen because we weren't in radio range on the map. But we can tell because our crew have told us and the top line has changed. So I've been spotted. Little Panzer II down there. And artillery are straight onto us, and we saw where that shot came from. He's just over the brow of the hill here, so we're going to keep moving because he's onto us. Artillery have got a very difficult job of trying to hit you on the move, so if you keep moving,
The enemy is capturing base.
chances are they won't get you. And we've set him alight and finished him off. So we know the Panzer II is there also, so we're just going to move in for him. And one of their enemy is now trying to capture the base, and that's why the air raid siren has gone off. Now I'm not too concerned about this Panzer II. He's got a machine gun and he will penetrate me, but I've got quite a good status on my health, although getting slightly concerned now but we set him alight and finish him off. If I hadn't have set him on fire, I would have probably backed up there. So there's two ways you can win the game. Capture the base and sit in the base for the elapsed time, or take out the entire enemy. Now, if you were the enemy, I wouldn't suggest that you try and capture the base, because as soon as you do, A, they're outnumbered, and B, you'll know exactly where they are. So we're all moving in. You wouldn't want to be that light tank right now, and somebody's taken him out, and we've won the game. So we had 23 penetrating hits, we destroyed 5 tanks, we got 1,900 XP, 5 grand in the bank. And in the end we did quite well, we came second, and that was a good game. So that was my T22 prototype, a tier 1 tank and a tier 2 game, and as you can see we did well and our team won. Here we are on Himmelsdorf in my T22 tier 1 prototype. It's a tier 2 game again, so we need to be a little bit wary. There are 3 artillery on the enemy team, so if they decide to work together we could get annihilated very quickly if we're spotted by them. So we're not going to play any open areas, to be cautious. So we're not going to go up to the castle, and we're not going to go out to the train tracks. We're going to keep it in the buildings where artillery will really struggle to get a line of sight on us.
Ready to fire on target.
So here's an M2 light, and it looks like he's having a little difficulty manoeuvring. And unfortunately with this game, it's not very forgiving if you're not very good in a tank. As you can see, all he was trying to do was turn around and get out of the way. So I do suggest that you try and keep to tier 1 until you've really mastered your tanks and the way the game plays. If you start going through the tiers too quickly, you will find this game gets very hard very quickly and a little bit frustrating. So we auto-aimed and got a tank on the move.
Locked and loaded. Focus on this location.
Got a shot into that cruiser's turret. We've taken that parked van out of the way so we can't hide behind it, and we're going to clear a shot if we need to.
Target locked. Penetration.
He's showing us the back and sides of his tank, the weakest areas he's got. Try and avoid running away from tanks if you can. If you need to get out of the way, try and reverse and keep the front of your tank angled and facing your enemy. You will stand a better chance. A nice side shot on the move there.
Target locked.
And I didn't keep an eye on my mini-map, and a light tank was squirreled away in a corner there.
Ready to fire on target.
Taking shots at me.
Enemy in sight.
All those bounced.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Now he's starting to penetrate, but he's not moving. So we're just going to keep putting shots in his engine, just moving out of the way because he is starting to take our health down. And if we keep moving, it's going to make it difficult for him to aim. There goes one of the artillery.
Target locked. We're overwhelming.
Auto-aim and take out a little light tank. Bear in mind, when you auto-aim, you still need to wait for that reticle to go down to its smallest size for that shot to still be accurate. Also, if you try shooting on the move, you'll notice that your reticle never quite closes down because shots on the move are more inaccurate. tank destroyer,
Ready to fire on target.
auto aim, take him out.
Fire.
They've got one tank destroyer left. I'm sure he's not going to last long. He's out on the tracks. For some reason we're trying to capture the base. We really don't need to. We've got this guy outnumbered. So you know, guys, don't try and capture the base if you outnumbered the enemy. Go and take them out. Have some fun.
Did it. We won.
So there we go. And we've got all sorts of goodies in this game. We've got 1,200 XP, 8 grand in the bank. We've got a Mastery Ace Tanker badge, which means we're in the top 1% of the players playing that at the moment. And all sorts of goodies. And if you press the A button on these, it'll actually tell you what they are and how you got them. 5 tanks, 1 critical hit, 15 penetrations. And we came top, a tier 1 tank and a tier 2 game. Hope you enjoyed that. My name's RetroJules. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Keep safe, keep tanking, and I'll see you soon.